Welcome to episode 8 of the Monday Night Wars review. I'm joined once again by an incomparable Lissy, Almeida, and likewise John Jacobs. So we're going to have a look at the Monday Night Raw episode, December the 7th, 1998. Lissy, this is the peak time where Stone Cold was the guy, and I think in the WWE we're going to be a little bit more edgy. We're going to see something here that got a lot of complaints by the USA Network.
As I always say, and this is definitely one of the prime examples of it, this would never happen on TV today, ever.
I just put that on a t-shirt, yeah. What happened in 2021, 2022? Yeah, we'll see. I'm pretty sure we'll see if it's edited off. I'm pretty sure it was edited out of the replays and the international broadcast, but it was copying the, I think Raven put the Sandman on a cross, which was Kurt Angle's debut in professional wrestling at the ECW arena, and said, if I'm ever seen on that broadcast, I will sue you and I will sue the company for a fortune. So we never saw that. JJ, where do you rank 98 Taker? We got, I think he hadn't yet become ministry, right? That happened early 99. Where does 98 Taker? He just come out of the feud with Kane. Where does he rank out of the Attitude Era versions?
I've not gone back and watched a lot of this. I feel like it's a little bit unfair to judge because Prime Taker for me was around when he was having those classics with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. But we're gonna, I get to go back and watch this with sort of fresh eyes with the wrestling brain that I have on my shoulders now, and I guess come back to me after this episode. Because I think a lot. I mean, I was just turned 9 years old when this came out, and this was just when I was kind of starting to understand that wrestling was a thing, and kind of watching little bits and pieces here and there on Live Wire at 7 a.m. on Sky Sports 3 when I was getting ready for school in the morning. So I was kind of getting little bits and pieces, but yeah, I hadn't fully sort of put it all together at that point yet. But yeah.
You're right, actually. I do remember that 8 o'clock that showed the replay of that. Generally, really heavily edited. So you see them swing a chair and then just a freeze frame, and then he's suddenly on the floor after the noise.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we'll get all the drama today. So if you are watching it on the network, JJ, fill us in how to watch it.
This is Raw 6114, December 7th, 1998.
And for people who are like Lissy on the cock.
For the Cockers, we are on Monday Night Raw, Season 6, Episode 49, December 7th, 1998.
Yeah, it's a far cry from your arts and crafts from last night, but we'll watch some Attitude Era action. So we will click play in 3, 2, 1. I want to go full Adam Cole there for a reason. Boom. Budge. So we have the old-fashioned open, which was in 184 countries, 123 languages.
I love that opener.
Oh, I remember this. I do remember this now. Oh,
The shovels.
this takes me. I'm getting goosebumps watching this. And you forget around this time, JR was just phenomenal.
Oh my God.
He just hit him with the goddamn leg with a shovel. And when you saw, I put a clip out, I think last week on one of the channels, which was the amount of times Jim Ross calls Triple H a bastard or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was great.
Triple H.
You bastard! Why'd you do that?
JR single-handedly put Triple H over. Just the way that his commentary, it was just, he made you believe it. It was are you part of the creative team or not? Because do you even know what's going what's going to be happening? He was so surprised every single time.
And disgusted by it. We're seeing a recap here. Boss Man just beat Mankind the hardcore title. That debuted, I think, 6 weeks earlier. But this is after the they called it the St. Louis screw job, was it? After the Survivor Series. We had and I remember this because again, around this time, pay-per-views were really hard to come by. And one of my mum's friends recorded Rock Bottom, which was, I think, on my birthday. No, December. December.
Let's just
6th.
enjoy this music.
Oh, this opener.
So good, wasn't it? So we got 4 huge stars in the main event tonight.
Wow.
In your heart.
Pyro, everything. And it was It's so funny because like the stage was just so simple back then too.
By playing the old WWF Attitude PlayStation game, it was always the big attitude signs there.
Everywhere.
That's so weird here, Michael Cole. I think JR's just had his second bout of Bell's palsy, so this is where Cole. I think Cole fills in against until WrestleMania. Oh, that's very 90s. Glow sticks in the cleavage.
A vibe. Okay.
I got Michael Ham on a What Culture episode. I just said Raw from '98. Just smelled the jizz. I don't know how that translates across the pond.
Look at them. Look at them.
Oh, well, China's looking all the way alive here.
This was such a good time. It was like right before, like when they were all still together. It was before, Stephanie came in the picture.
Oh my God.
Stephanie, who I won't say anything bad about ever because I love her.
Can we discuss as well? Like one of my favorite line from we've not spoken on air since the Punk MJF thing. The only way you're going to be on top is Tony. You wait around for Tony to have a daughter you can marry. Pop. I was watching that live, absolutely pissing myself laughing. It was absolutely tremendous. That.
Yeah, that was the one.
We're not going to top that at all.
Something that's so jarring right now is this is just like a non-stop assault on the senses. Like the opening package, it was just like jumping all over the place. Like, I don't know, like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like crazy lights, noise. It's just.
Am I getting fancy? Look at Triple H here. Is that not like a 2020 version of Jericho?
It's the hair, right?
What?
Look at him.
What are you talking about?
It's the hair.
The hair, the jacket.
It's my favorite hairstyle, the half up, half down. That's what it is.
Look at his shoes. I've noticed Jericho has that where I don't even know what it's called. The boots are out.
Will you stop?
That is quite the schnoz, isn't it? But you forget as well, at this time, how over X-Pac is. I think he's embarked on a feud with Shane O'Mac around 99 for the European title. But China here looks phenomenal.
China looks amazing. This was when she, like around that time when she first like came back, when she had, some work done to kind of like feminize her or whatever. But she looks amazing.
Oh, wow. The Outlaws in suits. Billy Gunn, who we saw wrestling on prime time, 22 years later, last week.
Billy's still performing at a high level.
And in incredible shape.
Oh my
incredible
God.
Shape.
Those abs are ridiculous.
Do you know what the story is here? I don't really know what's happening. Seems like Triple H is pissed off at the Outlaws for something that they've done last week.
This is kind of like a ruse, right?
Okay. Oh, I see.
So I think DX feuding with the corporation.
Mm.
And I'm pretty sure they've intimated that they've joined the corporation. And this is peak Russo era, right? Swerve, bro.
Okay.
Oh my God. In the past, that's him.
How many times are they going to show the girl with the
Man,
little sticks of bra?
again, the hamfletism stinks of jizz. Kevin Dunn would have a hard on at any form of cleavage, bless him. But around I'm pretty sure they'd left or moved away from DX, but this would be set up because Mankind wins the belt like 4 weeks later for that Austin Pop in, I want to say Hartford, Connecticut. And the Outlaws are fighting against the corporation there. So this is just all right, yeah, because Sean comes back as the commissioner, doesn't he?
Wow, here he is.
The corporate commission. Let's track it.
Let's go.
We don't need to see Sean speak.
Just you know what? you will never give Sean the benefit of anything, so I'm not really taking it that seriously.
That's true. I can't get over the Jericho comparison now that I've seen that. It is the hair tied back mainly, but
it's definitely that.
It's uncanny.
I mean,
Fozzy are touring in the UK at the minute, aren't they?
Are
they?
I think so. I'm pretty sure I've got, because he follows. I tag him in a lot of stuff. Jericho's the type of guy, if he's not going to watch this, if you tag him in stuff which is like his old matches, he always shares it on his Insta feed. So cheers, Chris. So we follow each other on that Wrestling 80s page, 80s, 90s, and he was plugging his shows, obviously, just. Sean.
What is it, like about a year and a half since we last seen Sean?
He was introduced, I think, 2 weeks earlier.
But before he came back,
that was the first time since WrestleMania 14, which was in Boston, March 30th, I want to say.
Yep.
March 29th, maybe. That was Tyson.
Oh.
That was when they were unsure whether Sean would do business. So the Undertaker was just sat at the gorilla position, taping his fist when Sean was walking past Sean. All right, good match, kid.
I love that the Undertaker was ready to ride out for Vince. He's so loyal.
And then, in my head, I remember watching that as a kid as Tyson obviously punches Sean. He's just on the floor doing that. I always remember thinking, if you're knocked out, is that what happens to you? Your face goes into a spasm.
I've never seen that, but I guess in that instance it was.
So they're saying, so this is basically arguing on DX before and after, because, Sean was the leader of DX back in 97. Triple H, the day after Sean lost the belt at Raw, he had the Outlaws in, X-Pac rejoined, and I'm pretty sure the Outlaws beat Terry Funk and Mick Foley.
Yeah, you're right.
In that steel cage match where
Chainsaw Charlie, right? Yeah.
Chainsaw Charlie.
That was where they handcuffed him to the cage and just beat the shit out of him with chair shots.
That was kind of the start of like the New Age Outlaws
the week after. Yeah. How he's getting killed, and you all start chanting for Austin. So this is all just legwork to lead to again the big swerve where the Outlaws are actually in DX and never joined all along.
The things they were able to do on TV, man. They would never have that PG rating with this content.
Everything I've seen of Sean Waltman, like in real life, but that just seems like him just in the ring going, yeah, whatever, you dickhead. Like, that just seems like the kind of guy he is.
And I'm pretty sure as well, the Outlaws have just beaten either the Bossman and Shamrock were tag team champs around this time for a while. So they must lose that. They must lose their belts back pretty soon. In late 98, early 99 is my probably, say peak fandom, 97 through 99. If you remember as well, Chyna as well, just 6 weeks later, she would win a battle royale on Raw by throwing Vince McMahon out to become the number 30 in the Rumble. Amazing. After the corporation had seemingly set it up for Vince to win.
Do you think they could have ever had Chyna like win the big one? She was like for a while, right? But
I don't think so.
And there you go. That's the corporation. You've got Gerald Briscoe, Patterson, Slaughter, Shane, and Vince.
Look how young Shane was. He was a little baby here.
You forget what Vince is just so good. It's so weird that we were just talking off air about seeing Vince on Raw this week, and you think how good he was as a character in this heel owner role.
He's an ultimate heel. I mean, think about it. I mean, obviously, in reality, it's probably not always true, but especially at this time. Who didn't hate their boss? Come on.
Let's just look at this match graphic for a second.
For Hall of Famers, baby.
That is a match graphic and a half. Austin, Rock, Taker, Foley.
Billy Gunn with the sports coat is just a wonderful touch there, isn't it? And the chinos. Are they actually going to bow?
I don't know what happens, but I'm going to guess that main event doesn't have a clean finish.
It's just that the pay-per-view is I think a week away. Have we just seen it? I think we've just seen it. So in your house, Rock Bottom was a buried alive match between the Undertaker and Mankind. There you go. It's a week later, so December the 30th, 98. Mankind and The Rock for the title, and you've got Undertaker and Austin in a buried alive match. So you have the two big programs put together. So you presume if we've watched between the three of us, probably watched 30 years of WWE. You know, it's going to go to no DQ. It's going to go to DQ finish and a big schmoz. But when you've got stars, you can get away with it.
Yeah, I guess you don't mind so much when you're seeing those four in the main event.
Again, China is just, you forget how it's weird watching a show where so many guys are over. There are stars, but everyone who's come out, there's been a reaction by the audience.
Oh, well, here you go. Jeff Jarrett's here to calm things down.
Well, there's an exception to every rule. So. What is it Stone Cold says about him? Broke 1,000 guitars, never drew a dime. And this is when Deborah has just come into the company, I think 2 weeks earlier. And she's playing the... I don't know what you described it as, Lissy. I think I called it just the MILF role here.
It's a look.
No, I mean,
vibe.
she was...
She's the older lady businesswoman, right? This is my investment, honey.
Yeah, she's like boardroom vibes, but, turn it up a notch.
Like Dragon's Den meets Pornhub. Do you have Dragon's Den in America?
I don't think we do.
Right, okay. Great show. It'll be on the BBC iPlayer.
Just, anything meets Pornhub. I don't need an explanation. I got the vibe.
You already know it all. Is that what you're saying?
D'Lo, I swear to God, how many times did we almost get concussions trying to do that with our heads? How does he do it? That neck snap.
And again, look at that unprotected guitar shot. It's
on heat.
On heat, yeah. You better recognize me being 9, 10 years old. Or 10 years old, thinking I was so gangster because I could do that. I remember my mum's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm the European champion. Sure you are.
Your mom was probably so tired of you. I can't imagine just you all over the house all day.
Ball of energy.
Look at Hebner, full head of hair.
And D'Lo got that chest protector over, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
You forget as well how stupid some things just stuck. Like Al Snow was messing around with a head backstage in an ECW show. That stuck for life. D'Lo got a chest injury, wore that, and then that was it then forever.
Yeah.
He was the guy. He was the guy in the nation. I think he was working in Smoky Mountain in the mid-90s. And Cornette recommended him to the nation because he wanted some guy who could just bump around and take the big hits rather than Ahmed Johnson or Farouk. And D'Lo's like, "Yeah, I want a job. Yeah, I don't mind.
Call me up." Absolutely. Yeah, but D'Lo's finisher was the frog splash, remember? So
Lowdown, yeah.
It went with him, I guess.
And the crowd really aren't into this match at all. They're all looking around for, big forearm from Mark Henry. Again, I did mention that everyone's over it. The crowd has gone noticeably.
Well, calmer. Think about who was just on. You had Triple H, X-Pac, you had the corporation on the stage, you had Shawn, you had everybody. And then it's these guys. Definitely calm them down.
We got a future world champion and a future world heavyweight champion on screen right now. So, you shouldn't put them down too much.
But you'd say to Russo's point where you've got the guys who were in the Oh, Fernandez has got for United. Excellent. They at least the guys had a story. Like you saw them on Heat at like Distraction, Guitar Shop. So they've come in with. There's a reason for them to have a rematch. The week before, and you presume there's going to be something with Deborah, Mark Henry involved here.
You got to say as well, like the stuff that they, are putting themselves through, just to be like bottom of the card on Raw. It's kind of crazy.
Have either of you listened to Jeff Jarrett's podcast, My World?
I've not.
It is surprisingly really, really good.
I'm actually not surprised. I think Jeff Jarrett I think he's a good talker. I think he has he's in the business over 30 years. Like he probably has a shit ton of stories to talk about. I'm not surprised at that. And he was in think about it. He was in every major promotion, WCW, WWF, then Impact, all those years. Like he has a lot.
Sunset flip, big right hand. Yeah, exactly. And you think he stood Vince for what, 200 grand? The night of the pay-per-view when he's out of contract. He walked out when they were doing the double J, JFF, JIIT. He walked out on them and still got hired back a year later. Like how? And then he stood Vince up for 200 grand the night of the pay-per-view, and he's there working it with them now. How?
Yeah, but I think one thing I will say about Vince is that he always does what's best for business, and whatever that is, right? There's a very limited amount of things that you can do that he won't bring you back with. Like he always brings people back because he knows, he has his reasons. He knows what is valuable.
Apart from the Macho Man. Oh yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, but the point is
the cream rest.
In what way is Jarrett best for business? Because he's just never done anything of note in a major promotion.
What is happening right now?
So if you are watching, Jonas, we're going to do this to the podcast eventually. So if you are listening to this, Gold Dust, again, this is Dustin Rhodes, who's 6'4", real life. He's come out wearing a Flashers jacket, and Deborah's on the apron, and
not a
he has
Flashers
presumably
jacket.
shown him the crown jewels. Oh, please not roll up finish. So weak.
The most devastating move. Say again.
Wow, I was actually just saying, is that actually it? Okay. So Dustin has presumably shown his meat and two veg to Deborah, who was unimpressed.
Very unimpressed, indeed.
That's Tony Gurria with
Tony
Stone Cold Steve Austin in the back. God, Austin's jacked here, and look at those arms.
Oh yeah. He was at his, I would say, peak around this time, guys.
What the hell is this? Right, I've never seen this before in my life.
I never want to see it again. It's just too much sometimes. I love it. Phone number no longer active.
Oh, I was going to call. What have we just seen?
There you go, guys.
He's at
Oxford.
Oxford University. What a
Wow.
He's at Oxford. Wow.
Mr. McMahon.
The evil chairman, Mr. McMahon. How English is she?
He's at Oxford University.
Oxford, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Guys, we have a special guest right now.
Is it your cat?
Yes. The demon.
Again, no better than Billy Mack.
Mr. McMahon called his engagement at Oxford University enlightening, and Britain's intellectually elite cherished the night as well. Wow, that is really something. I mean, Mr. Vince McMahon
Wow.
joins a huge list of illustrious people, presidents, foreign ministers like Nelson Mandela,
These two.
Yasser Arafat, Ronald Reagan, all asked to speak at Oxford. Hey, don't forget OJ and Richard Nixon.
I would honestly love to watch that speech.
At Oxford, and presumably, I can actually see Vince keeping staying in character the entire time as well.
I wouldn't be surprised.
God damn it, pal!
I feel like it would be a toned down version of himself, but yeah.
He still, if you see him around interviews this time, he still has he doesn't give a lot away, and he still does it like a little bit tongue in cheek. Like, God, of course I'm gonna. If you see mankind coming in me,
The Headbangers got quite the pop there. I mean, I was never really into them, but they were over for a short period of time.
The best
entrance.
entrance.
It is one of the greatest entrances.
The best.
I think Gangrel's still wrestling as well, so kept on the indie scene in the Northeast.
Yeah, you know, AEW were going to bring it back, but
don't even know that.
because Edge did that kind of brood entrance, they got rid of the
Gangrel,
plan.
Edge, and Christian. We know very little about this group. The only thing we really know is Edge and Christian are brothers, and Gangrel appears to be the leader. And we know that they can wrestle.
Edge and Christian are brothers. They dropped that quickly.
Did they?
They kept it on for a bit, though. I love that they just pretend that certain things were never part of the storyline. Like later on when they were both still in the company, it's like, okay, they're not brothers anymore, but no, we don't talk about it. It doesn't matter. It's just like, we've been here. We remember. Another thing that would never be happening today on TV, spitting into the crowd.
Well,
not with COVID.
Hepatitis anything. Yeah, so there's something from IWA Mid-South, which is obviously the company that people like Eddie Kingston and Punk got started in. And there was if you were subjected to any of the blood at that recent show, somebody tested positive, so you need to get in contact with the doctor. Like, yeah, that's indie wrestling.
Oops.
Yeah, this just reminds you of the PlayStation game WF5. I'm sure it came out around just before Christmas time in '98, and that was me done.
What time?
Not seeing daylight again. Come home straight from school, but put the PlayStation on.
Yeah, I feel like Headbangers weren't around for much longer after this because I know that they were on the video game, but I don't really remember like much of them.
How long were they there? They weren't there for more than a year or two. Their time was short.
They tried to repackage both of them. So do you remember this? Didn't
they have the one with they did him with like the mom or whatever she was supposed to be, and it was really weird, and they were just like, all right, we gotta go.
So is it Martian Thrasher, right? I don't know which one's which.
Yeah.
But yeah, the character was Beaver Cleavage.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah.
And he would eat things out of his mum's boobs.
Yeah, I got it, yeah.
It was something from, I think, Mad TV at the time. Again, listening to Bruce Pritchard's podcast, it lasted like 4 weeks. Oh, that is a young Mike Chioda. See, a sober JJ will notice the referees.
I'm not even going to guess.
Is that Mike Chioda? No, I'm pretty sure it is. Not Mike Chioda JJ. Yes.
It must be a cousin or something like.
How were you the morning after?
Fine.
Don't get hangovers.
No, I mean that was a hangover, but you know.
You're such a trooper.
The rarest of form.
You're supposed to be ill as well. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I wasn't. I just sort of started getting better, and then I was like, yeah, let's drink a lot of alcohol. And then I didn't feel great again. Who's this guy? What's going on?
So it's
That's
actually
Luna.
funny.
That's Tiger Ali Singh. You know what Tiger Ali Singh?
Luna and
Here comes the oddities.
are married.
Oh my. Don Callis.
This is like your standard. This used to be the Shotgun Saturday night. Again, Sky One, 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning. This is basically like the syndicated show we'd get in the UK, and you'd get the jobbers on there.
There's a lot going on. The got Kurgan.
Well,
Or
Kurgan
the oddities.
under the mask is that's John Tenter. Was the earthquake?
Mm-hmm.
But Tiger Ali Singh was so
We know.
Oh wow. Yeah, look at that. That's earthquake. Did that to hope he did that to Jake, didn't he? In like 91.
Who's the dude in the purple kind of shirt?
I can't remember his
Giant
name.
Baba.
He's like
Giant
Great
Silva.
Khali.
Silva. Why did I say Baba? Giant Silva.
Like half Great Khali, half Andre the Giant.
So they were the oddities. I remember they came out at SummerSlam 98 with Sable, and they got an unbelievable reaction. I mean, you think in hindsight it's probably because they were with Sable, but there was a lot going on in 98. And
Weird
but Vince Russo wanted everyone to have a storyline. So kind of what you'd say, there's sometimes a problem with AEW now. It's like a run-in or an angle with every match or aftermath.
Well, I'm glad you're starting to notice that.
Yeah. Oh my God! You remember this took Paul Bearer down a manhole?
I'm surprised he fit, to be honest.
He was a big man.
He was a very big man.
I think they used to have as well on Livewire. I'm sure they used to have like a WWF Slam of the Week.
Oh yeah.
Getting all the nostalgia. Right, let's track it here because this is a meeting of the minds.
Go on.
Oh yeah. The alliance between The Rock and The Undertaker before the main event tonight. Where did that hidden camera come from? That was coincidental. The blue nugget.
At one point, do you guys agree, like a little bit later, like wasn't the corporation was like almost the scale of how NWO just had everybody in it? Like the corporation just had, and then it became corporate ministry, all that. Like it was just too many big names, too many like people. It's like who can you feud with?
Bro, we're working on stories. I can't do that. I can't do the Russo accent. You can tell he was trying to do a lot. And we've just seen Goldust come out and flash, and now he's wrestling a match. I mean, shouldn't he have been doing some stretches or warm-ups? But yeah, when they started adding Midian, and then he became Naked Midian and Big Vis, and yeah, and then the Brood joined, didn't they? And it was just a lot.
It was a lot.
Of guys, like just from a Michael Scott as a management tool, it's a lot of guys you got to look after there.
Mm-hmm. What is happening?
Goldust is an interesting character at this stage.
Yeah, is Owen, I think is Owen still in the Nation's split up at this point. I'm pretty sure soon after this, Owen and Jeff Jarrett become a tag team, and maybe this is the thing with Goldust feeds into it.
Well,
whatever was underneath that jacket, Deborah didn't look impressed.
She was not. She was very unbothered. Well, Owen passes away, 5-6 months later?
6 months later, yeah. And again, you think of the guys who joined the WWF in the next, 18 months? Mm-hmm. He's obviously lost a bit of steam here. He's just floating around. He had that big program with Triple H after Brett left, so big match at WrestleMania 14 with Chyna in a cage, and then didn't really do much. He joined the Nation. He's there for 6-7 months. But by 99, Angle's joined, Jericho's joined. 2000, you've got Malenko, Guerrero, Benoit. Man, he could have tore it up throughout for the IC belt.
I think we said this last time. Like he could have had a whole second, second career, second half.
As like the elder statesman, the wise. The wise in the locker room.
He was still relatively young here as well, mid-30s. He had a lot more to go, a lot to give.
Was he 34 when he passed?
Yeah.
Yeah, just turned 34. God, that's insane.
This should really be a low-key banger, shouldn't it? Like two phenomenal in-ring workers.
Yeah.
I think at this point in time, Dustin was quite messed up, or he says that he was suffering some substance abuse problems, but I think he'd leave within the next 6 months from here. He's 29. He's been working pretty much full time for 10 years.
Mm. But
did you guys what he tweeted this week, or I don't know if it was this week, but when he said something to, I don't want to misquote, something to the effect of, you see Sting in his 60s, like still going, like they're using him. Was it him who said this? They're still using him, but I don't want to be like Ric Flair, who like still has to wrestle to make a paycheck or whatever. Like
the girls speak so highly of Justin. He's doing basically most of the training in the women's division.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's like, just look at, he's in his 50s now, and he really hasn't missed a beat. I think the last few years in AEW have really like rejuvenated his career, if anything, and he's still going, and he's in tremendous shape.
I still remember that match that he and Cody had in their first pay-per-view. I think it was, and it was like incredible. I think that really like made people appreciate how good he still was.
Yeah.
And even though he doesn't get a lot of ring time, I mean, this is where I think they use their veterans quite well, because every time you see him or Sting or even Billy Gunn in the ring, you're like, wow, these guys can still go. And because they're not, there week in, week out, when they actually do have a match, they really pull it out of the bag.
Yeah, they're not getting like the shit kicked out of them every week. They're not, also like the schedule, there's not like a pay-per-view on Sunday and then wrestling on Monday night and, doing 100 house shows a week, twice on Sundays. Like that's what these guys were doing back here. I mean, it really shows.
Yeah, and to this point, you'd say that the older talent at this point are kind of being used to put over the youngsters. So what Darby beat Billy Gunn the other week. Sting's, anyone who shares a ring with Sting looks phenomenal just because they get the old Sting rub. Like the FTR match from Arthur Ashe was phenomenal. And then you've got Dusty. I don't think Dusty's won a match in about a year, has he? You remember he got battered by he got beat up by Lance Archer to set up the Cody feud, and I think they did the same with Malachi Black a few months ago. And I'm pretty sure didn't someone else beat the tar out of him? Did he lose to Moxley?
But like you mentioned, they also have that effect backstage as well, like helping out the women or doing bits and pieces. Whereas the way the WWEs are going to use a veteran is pay him a massive paycheck to come in for one event, and then you're never going to see him again until he wants another paycheck to come back for another event in 3 months' time,
Let's just get you off because Deborah seems to have found, again, 99.
Oh no, she's opening that.
It's her own Flashers jacket.
Look at that! Wow! Oh my gosh!
Whatever she saw, the king looked like.
And Owen saw it too.
Is that the second roll-up finish in a row?
It picks up the win. Did you see?
Sorry, no.
Oh my gosh!
That was so that's 3 matches in a row where we had. Well, there was a roll-up distraction, DQ finish followed by roll-up distraction. This is very Vince Russo.
It's still happening now, guys.
Well, I wouldn't know. Does anybody watch Raw?
No, there's no Flashers jackets coming out. Come on, DJ.
No, I'm just saying, like, every match finishing in a DQ or a distraction or a roll-up, whatever it is.
I actually went back and I was editing a few clips from Thunder. It was Nitro in 2000, and then I did some more so this time from 99. Yeah, well, you forget how bad that company is around that time. It's unreal. Like the stuff that was putting out, just loads of inside terms and people just saying stuff to pop each other. So we have D'Lo here being the real European champion by going around mingling with the wonderful people in jolly old England.
London vibes.
Michael Cole was like, yeah, we came off from Capital Carnage at the London Arena. That's not a place. Where's the London Arena?
I think he means the O2. What was the O2? What is the O2 now, I think?
That wasn't a place in 98. That was the Millennium Dome.
I'll take your guys' word for it.
I'm guessing he means Wembley Arena, but
guys, we know.
I actually ordered this pay-per-view because it was on my birthday. Yay! This is when we got to see Jacqueline's boobs, and my dad just took a sudden interest in wrestling.
I understand.
Oh my lord!
I'm pretty sure Stone Cold won a fatal 4-way in the main event. I think Kane was there. Undertaker. I want to say somebody else. Maybe Mankind.
The international shows must have been so live back then too.
Oh, I mean, they did unreal business.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
And the guys were, I think they had big bust. I've got the corporate eyebrow. God, you so caught me. Oh, the big Valboski. The guys turned out in a towel.
There's a lot going on, guys.
'90s England. What a world.
Wow.
And from Subkick to The Godfather coming out with his horse. So, I mean...
Ooh.
Some big Valboski.
I've got to say as well, around in like 1999, 2000, The Godfather's wardrobe was just phenomenal.
Top tier.
He would always have a nice, there'd always be like a different coloured or accompanying hat to match the massive coloured trousers.
I feel like this character was so perfect for him. Like, I mean, the man owns or owned a strip club. Like, this is 100% in his wheelhouse.
You can file this under shit you wouldn't see on TV today.
Absolutely.
Pimping ain't easy.
Nice, that's a bit of side boob as well. Kevin Dunn picked that up. You know, I've said before, my, again, number one weakness, redheads. It's got to be a no for me. This is lowbrow from The Godfather could do better than this. Come on, Charles.
I always wondered,
Wow,
like, how did they recruit local girls?
I was literally just thinking the same thing. Like,
Bruce Pritchard, they said he would ring local modelling agencies, or they would actually go to like some strip clubs.
I wouldn't be surprised.
They have a certain look, these two girls. Don't they? Again, the white dress and the brightly coloured underwear to really accentuate
Show
the
underneath.
look.
Yeah. Well, the girl in the blue, she has a very fresh boob job. They are up there.
They are perky as perky can be.
Yeah.
Of the WWE Women's Division.
no. Next.
No. She's just, I mean, it's just her turn.
She has got an awful lot of stands on Twitter.
Yeah. Do you know what? Like, I haven't seen it, but I heard that she basically got run down. Was it by Charlotte when she was like, I don't even know who you are? Right?
That was Charlotte, and I watched a segment with Tony Storm on SmackDown. Oh my god!
So Liv's against Becky.
Yeah, that was against Becky. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like they bring these people. It feels like they just bring these kind of people up to have, as Lissy said, their turn. But they're not getting them over. Like, they just have their go, and then that's it. And whereas I feel like with AEW, you actually get that bit where it's like, yeah, you're good, but I'm going to beat you. Whereas these feuds are like, you're trash, and I'm going to dispose of you, and then we'll never see you again.
And you'd almost call them like placeholder feuds.
Yeah. So alternatively, would you guys, prefer to see Becky and Charlotte on the same show so that they can just fight each other all the time? One of them pretty much always has the belt. And then at least the other show has a real women's division versus now they've split them up and, they're each champions on their own respective shows. And it's like, okay, we gotta feed them the dog food and everybody just gets their go at them.
I mean, you've got the four horsemen and I guess Bianca, who's at that level.
Yeah.
After that, it's like those five, and the rest, I feel like they've kind of already diminished. Rhea, who I think had the ability to be up there. You think back to the Royal Rumble when it was Bianca and Rhea who were the last two, and it was like, I was watching that, like, I don't care which one of you wins that. I just love to see either one of you win it because I think they're both awesome. Kind of Rhea, but it's like those five and then everyone else, and doesn't seem like they're doing very much to get any of them up to that level.
Well, I think this bit of, time, this last couple months of Rhea tagging with Nikki has, like you said, JJ, it's pulled her off that platform a bit because it just put her in a different lane, right? Like, she's not the edgy, very dangerous Rhea that we were like, oh shit, she's gonna like be a star. And she is a star in her own right, but she's probably not gonna be around the title as much as she should be.
Yeah, agree.
We're missing some very scary words from the Undertaker.
There's a lot going on.
I'm pretty sure without putting any spoilers out, is there not a bloodbath from here? There's one. I've got a clip of one around this time.
I don't know. I refer to you for this knowledge.
Boy.
As an 8-9-year-old, like, this shit was terrifying to be
I
fair.
was terrified of the Undertaker as a kid.
Terrifying. Are you kidding me? When we used to go to the shows, my younger sisters are 5 and 6 years younger
I'm
than
sure
me.
there's a bloodbath.
Like,
No?
they were crying.
I'm not surprised.
How did he just do that? I don't understand. Did he just like do it with his mind, or did he have some sparklers? He had me at 10. I don't understand. Where's the fire marshal?
You didn't know the word fire marshal when you were 9.
No, but I remember like lighting something on fire in school once, like in a chemistry, and people going bananas and causing, and then watching on TV, and there's the Undertaker and Kane setting everything on fire. Nobody shouts at them.
They are responsible adults, Jack. They are allowed to play with fire.
There's a joke in there about playing with fire, and I refrain on this occasion. But hey, all right. So we're 50. If you've been watching along with us in our, I mean, it's supposed to be a watch line. We're at 51:01, or 2, or 3, or 4. This is building to the main event of Stone Cold Steve Austin and Mankind against The Undertaker and the WWF champion, The Rock, the now corporate champion, after checking his principles at the door, as JR famously said. He checked his principles at the door to set a line with these men. Good old Jim. Best wishes out to Jim Ross, who's currently off the announce desk whilst recovering from skin cancer as well.
Yeah, get well soon, Jim. Love this guy, Steve Blackman, on his way to the ring.
Always loved Steve Blackman as well. Always looked like God. He could legit beat the shit out of you.
Oh,
he was
yeah.
honestly like so bland in terms of like
Packaging.
trash music,
Yeah.
just like plain black, shit hair, like the most generic look ever. But it's like just seemed like a badass and kind of go over on that basis alone.
Yeah. I mean, he was a badass, though. What are you talking about?
If you go back and oh my God, Tiger Ali Singh at third time. Wow. And again, if you go back to this is 98, Vince has been desperate to crack India in 25 years.
Jack, Tiger Ali Singh was around for years. I didn't realize how long he was with the company.
And his little manservant was called Babu, right? This is supposed to be a play on Aladdin.
Yeah.
But again, Vince watches that film from 7 years ago. I got it. Yeah, well, his dad was a huge star. Again, we've mentioned before, Tiger Jeet Singh was a massive heel in the 70s in the territories. He was big in Japan. And because of that, they presumably thought, again, second generation superstar, but he just didn't have it. And then again, he would, Bruce Pritchard says, he would upgrade his own airfare. So he lived in Toronto, so they book him obviously, and he'd upgrade himself, and then, so that he'd get off the flight and go, yeah, they fly me first class. I'm a big deal. And again, to a locker, and you're just gonna think, what a wanker. Yeah, see, if you go back and look if you Google pictures of Steve Blackman from like the early 90s, he is jacked to the gills. He could be one of the road boys.
Huge.
And he had a nice spine blister. Not quite double A, but anyhow. But he had some disease that he lost like half his body weight.
Yeah, I think you've mentioned this before.
Yeah, I know, but honestly, it's phenomenal. And the thing was that everyone in the locker room, he's still 35 here. and he had a really good run. He was in the WWE for what, 5-6 years?
Mm-hmm. Probably about that time.
And Jim Ross always says there you go. He left his contract in October 2002. I won't do that JI impression, but he says head of talent creation, number one trait, reliability. If Steve said he's going to make a town, he'd be there.
At what point did they hook him up with Al Snow? The head
that was maybe late '99, early 2000, I think.
Yeah,
because they did the thing with the Rock and Sock connection, didn't they? And the Rock, obviously, that was like September '99, and then the Rock obviously went on the Rumble, and yeah, that was head cheese. I remember that so well.
Yeah, it was hilarious, but it's like you've got such a badass in Steve Blackman, and you kind of just diminish him by making him do this comedy stuff. But it feels like it's always the way. If you've got like a badass like this and they don't want to push them up to the main event, it's like, okay, let's just kind of make them a comedy character.
Well, that's what Kurt Angle always says. He couldn't believe like they wanted him to be a heel, and he said he questioned Vince like, "Why am I doing all this stupid stuff? Like when I can hook people and I can shoot on and do whatever." Because well, yeah, obviously that's the attraction. You're doing all this stupid, funny stuff, and then when you've had enough, like, okay, I'm going to actually take you down and beat you up.
Yeah.
That's the whole deal. We've got to get to the point where you do that. Oh, so the blue blazer. Oh, who's the blue blazer? Is that another DQ finish?
Did we find out who that was?
Of the 4 matches so far, I've had 2 roll-ups and 2 DQs.
So was the blazer supposed to trip on the way to the ring? Just so I know.
I feel like not. But,
is that guillotine choke from guillotine? What's a sleeper? Jack Dunn is not amused by your behaviour, Owen. Jimmy Corderas. Is that Tony Gurria in the background? Yeah.
Who's Tony Gurria? I don't recognise that face.
But Tony Gurria was a guy from New Zealand, in the wrestling like early 70s. In like 75, he came over, and he was like one of the like steady hands for the WWF, right. Vince Senior in like the 70s. He retired in like 86 and became a road agent for them. And job for life because he was one of Vince's dad's main guys. I think he was like a tag team champion with about 4 or 5 different guys. Rick Martel, Tito Santana, a few others.
Wasn't he still working if it's not too long ago? I thought I was reading up on him that
I think he like was a road agent now and again. Yeah,
he's up there.
Like 70, maybe 77 now.
Yeah.
They were really keen to highlight any form of publicity they got, didn't they, in the States?
Oh yeah,
Vince at Cambridge, Rolling Stone magazine.
I mean, especially at this time, this was 98. They still hadn't really broken into the mainstream yet. It was still, wrestling fans only.
I mean, it was the only thing we were talking about in the playground at school, so.
Right.
D-Lo strutting that ass.
But guys, like 10 years prior or longer, right? We had Cyndi Lauper and like that whole crew that came in and, the big connection with MTV. It's like, how many times did they have to break into mainstream? Because like they did it in the 80s and then they did it in the 90s again. And then obviously now it's like, all integrated. But I feel like they kind of fell off in the early 90s where like they went back into that wrestling.
Oh, I remember this. I remember this skit. Mark Henry in China going out. Wow.
What a time.
What a rush.
What the hell?
China was just so unbothered. Like, I love that about her. She just never smiled, nothing. She was just that badass bodyguard. And
that's kind of what I don't know whether you watch any of the NWAs, but that's what they did with Camille, who was Nick Aldis's bodyguard. She's now the NWA Women's Champion. I think she beat Serena Deeb or Thunder Rosa. But she didn't say a word for 2 years. They just had her. She's like 6 foot, quite beefy, muscly. Just arms folded. just with a look.
Yeah, just be a bodyguard, be an enforcer.
Less is more.
Can we just talk about this iteration of the Road Warriors?
I'd rather not, but if you insist.
I don't know.
This was coming to the end of their run. So they came back 97, had a big match, good clothesline. Big match with the Nation, WrestleMania, which is obviously Chicago, their build hometown. And they had a program with the Outlaws for about 3 or 4 months. And then Hawk was really struggling, wasn't he? He was struggling with alcohol addiction. And they decided to turn it into a storyline where he was being pushed out. He tried to make Droz and Animal a team, and it was just all a big mess.
It's just too much. And then remember, a few years later, obviously Animal left. He came back in like the early 2000s or early mid 2000s, and they had him with like Heidenreich.
Heidenreich, right? Yeah.
Like, just stop. Leave it with those two. We liked it that way.
I always quite liked Droz, like not necessarily as part of this, but I just thought he always looked like a decent athlete, had a good look.
I just remember him from not Wrestling with Shadows, Beyond the Mark.
Yeah.
Was he not? He was the one who I can puke on demand. He's gonna.
Vince just loves that weird shit. It's like,
give me something different that I can market, pal.
Like, when would you ever need to do that?
Puke. God damn it, pal, that's good shit. What?
What do you think, Jack? Roll up or DQ?
Is D'Lo still? D'Lo? Is he still with TNA, right?
Yeah. He's on. Isn't he in the booth? He's on commentary.
He's only 51. Yeah. God.
I feel like he could still go. He had some like major injury.
I think he might have been doing something with GCW as well last few months. Wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, China going back again. She has really made those legs shine as well. Double cocoa butter. She doesn't look impressed either.
Just before Mark Henry has a sex addiction?
No, Mark Henry's sexual chocolate this time, but he's trying to woo China.
Okay.
Like I said, they went to some like...
yeah, I saw the dancing clip.
I genuinely don't remember how this turns out.
Henry gets distracted, gets rolled up, but doesn't mind. He's going to kiss her. Oh, okay. Boom.
Oh! This is going to lead to a World's Strongest Match Slam. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's not how I thought it was going to go. So we're 0 for 5 on clean finishes tonight.
I mean, were you expecting anything else, or?
No, this is exactly what I wanted.
Bro. We're playing the long... I can't do the accent. Playing the long game. Maguire.
D'Lo, the head shake. Oh my god.
Oh my god, penalty to United. This is a great game of football, by the way. United beating Arsenal 3-2.
I have zero interest.
Yeah. So this is the corporation.
Boss man.
Yeah, Shamrock looks so good with that IC bell as well. Yeah, I noticed when they came out, the Outlaws were there. They spat the water out with the piggy, didn't they?
Yeah.
Sean's doing the exact same thing because that is clearly etiquette in those circles.
It's one of those things that, like, you see on TV, right, in like American TV, and you're like, why are they doing that? That's like a British thing. Right, I've lived here for 15 years, and it's not. And when you're a kid growing up and you first see it, you're like, what's going on here?
That's the American perception.
Yeah,
of
of course.
God, they're so sophisticated. Not really.
You're so sophisticated.
I'm going to say, you want to go to somewhere like Preston Town Centre.
Polo.
Look at all the goths knocking around.
Sipping tea.
Doc Martens and Monster Energy. If you are a goth watching this, and I'm sure there's a very, very minute percentage, I don't apologise. Go fuck yourself. No, I joke. I went through a phase as well in my teens. Never went full eyeliner, though. Never went eyeliner. I did have a few studded bracelets and listened to a lot of Paramore. So we all have phases.
Speaking of the corporation, I spent a lot of my time in corporation in Sheffield when I was at university there. So if you've been there... Was
this when you were clean shaven, JJ?
No.
No, you still had it.
I mean, I'm trying... I was at... You asked me the other day when the last time I didn't have a beard was. I was genuinely trying to think when...
I've always remember you with some kind of sort of varying length, but I've never seen your cheeks.
For a reason.
It's a good look.
I said
JJ.
to the missus, shall I take it off? And she was like, no, you don't want the world to know you've got a double chin. And I said to her, why is it not nice when people know that? And she didn't like that. So yeah, it's gonna stay for now.
The beard works wonders.
I instantly regretted it. I was like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. But
nice.
She doesn't like me clean shaven either. And I sent her a photo going, surprise, because you really did.
I think you look good clean shaven, so I'm kind of too scared at this point to do it because I have no idea what it looks like under there.
Penny will be petrified as well.
Seb would like. I'm not even sure Seb would recognize me. Like, yeah, it honestly would be a shade even lighter than the rest of my face. So,
I think you'd look. I don't mean this. I think you'd look very nerdy, clean shaven.
That was a compliment.
Exactly, intelligent. And another, I can't believe as well. These people behind these Roy Keane jumpers, like, what is wrong with them?
Oh.
JJ, we're still 24 today.
Fine, and it's only the 2nd of December.
Absolute cheddar.
This is what happens.
Look at Shamrock here, man. Oh, you sexy bastards. The world's most dangerous man. Like, they milked that for all. I remember, again, being a big fan of that, going, why is he the world's most dangerous man? They've never elaborated or extrapolated why. Then
don't need to.
It was in a UFC article from '95 where somebody said Ken Shamrock could be described as what? Right, go with it.
Note down. I'm just amazed that we've got time for this and this massive 4-man main event in the last half an hour. But
there's 28 minutes left. How long do you think this match is going to go? I'm going to say 6 minutes.
I was going to say.
I'll take the over on 6.
Right, so this is 107.18. I think the entrances for the main event will last longer than this match.
Okay.
Bossman, really good twirl a nightstick.
Listen, with that,
I'd love to see Bossman
guy.
in like a nice tuxedo. They missed a trick with him. Everyone as well. If he was, everyone speaks so highly of Ray Traylor, like he was a thick Georgia accent, like an absolute sweetheart of a guy. Like he would always ride with Terry Reynolds, and said he was like said he treated me like he's my big brother. What a lovely man.
I can imagine it was not a particularly nice kind of locker room to be hanging around in if you were one of the female eye candy on the roster.
Yeah, whereas Bossman was like 6'7", married with about 4 kids, so he was again not going to be lambing over Terry Reynolds. I think he was good friends with Dustin. If you remember, he was brought in by Dusty in Crockett in '86. So,
my favourite Bossman moment was him reading the poem to Big Show after Big Show's dad died, and he drove off with the coffin.
I mean, he was a little brutal.
And if I had a son as stupid as you, I'd hope for cancer, so I would die too.
See, there's certain things
I
that
apologize
they just...
to any watchers from the southern states of America for that accent.
No, don't apologize. I just feel like
that was like Lenny
stuff...
and George from Mice and Men.
It was all right.
I want to pet the rabbit, George.
No, but there's certain stuff that I just feel like they cross the line like so often. Like even when the Anvil died and they brought that so soon into the storyline with Natalia, like I didn't like it because I don't know. I get it. It creates good content, but there's certain stuff that should just be off limits in my humble opinion.
The thing with that table thing though, like it literally didn't add anything to the story. Like they just had a picture of him on the table. Okay. Like it really didn't go anywhere.
It's stupid.
Again, there's no calls for taste. The fact that they were trying to use the fact that they'd find people in the week into storylines was
yeah.
Yeah, and because of you and your big contract, my friend got fired. Nothing to do with her, is it? Like, fucking hell, they've made $280 million the past year. Becky getting $2 million a year is not going to deaden that.
Yep.
Yep.
The martial arts expert.
I'm a fan of this red and gold thing that Triple H has got going on.
I actually had the figures here of Bossman, and X-Pac was very much of that type of. Oh wow, was that just a photo?
Can't forget the Bronco Buster, guys.
I had all the wrestling figures and more.
Bronco Buster is up there with the Stink Face. There's some of the best 90s finishes. Actually, I guess Stink Face was more 2000s, but yeah, some great finishes. I shouldn't even say finishes, should I? Signature move.
The Bossman's gear is the precursor to the Shield gear 10 years later. Prove me wrong.
You're right.
Well, I was thinking with the chest protector, D'Lo was having... I thought D'Lo's posters were up on little Roman Reigns'
Yeah, a little hybrid. I think Ambrose wore this sort of vest here.
I think I'm winning the I think I'm winning the over-under bet, Jack.
I think you are. How long have we been?
What do we say? We're 5 minutes in so far, I think. What do you say, 107? So we're
107.20, yeah. I'm feeling good.
I mean, Billy's repping a lot of jewelry here as well. You don't see many wrestlers doing the eyebrow ring.
What are you talking about? The Undertaker had one.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
The Undertaker never had an eyebrow ring.
Yes, he did.
Right,
Come on. I think he had one during this run right here.
Oh yeah, you're right. The ministry run.
Yeah, it was dreadful. I mean, the late 90s were a weird time. Piercing.
And again, I remember this at the time in like 97. He had a teardrop on his face.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like read back that goes on people's face if they've killed people, right? For when they're in prison.
Yeah.
And I'm there trying to put two together going, so was Undertaker trying to tell people he killed people, or
he was a killer?
He's a dead man. Maybe he's trying to say he's yeah.
I don't know.
So many like when you really try to analyze it, fucking hell, it doesn't make any sense.
Just don't. Okay. I mean, don't analyze it. You had like on the other show, you had Kevin Nash and Scott Hall wearing bandanas tied the front way, looking like gangsters. Like it was just a lot.
All of it's weird to think when we watch so many things, I think, and there's so many people alive, how are all of DX here or the Clique all still alive, all working in wrestling? Sean, Hunter, and Road Dogg all at NXT. Well, they were the old version of NXT. God knows what they do now. Billy's like an agent at AEW. I think Sean does bits and pieces. He's got his own podcast, hasn't he? And Shamrock was inducted into the Impact. Somebody pointed out, sure, The Rock did more for Ken Shamrock being inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame than WWE's pay-per-view.
We've heard.
Yeah, that's so weird.
I caught a little bit of Sam Roberts' podcast, and he was like, if you were in the arena, like they kept doing these weird things where, like before the show, they would just play Rock's music.
He might be coming.
And then they had like a random fact come up on the screen, like, did you know Rock did this thing 18 years ago? It's like, if you were there, you must have been so sure that he was going to come. And then like the end of the main event was just like.
But hadn't they already publicized that he's filming he's filming in like Australia or something, and that he was not going to attend? Sure,
they had done that. But you can, if you're there and they're doing all this stuff, you can convince yourself that they're saying that to hide it, right?
Like, he might.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because it just seems so weird that they did all of this stuff for no reason. For literally no reason.
It's just the idea. It's the idea of promotion, and that's where you go wrong. It's you under promise and over deliver. You don't hype something up and then don't do it. It's
right.
There's a bit like the entire thing with Punk turning up, the first dance in Chicago.
Yeah.
This is going to be the swerve, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Bro, they won't see that as a kid, not knowing at all what I remember
I had no idea.
My cousin got so in trouble for it once, he did it in public to his mum, who just she slapped the shit out of him. Mum, how about you just suck it? Wallop.
Mum, we don't deserve.
He was always our oldest chaps. He was 3.5 years younger than me. So around this time, if I'm nearly 90, I'm nearly 11. So he's like what, 7.5, 8?
Yeah.
Sean is apoplectic.
You okay, Les?
DX forever.
Okay.
Poor Sean. What an idiot. Should have seen that coming.
Unpopular opinion. I never really liked the New Age Outlaws.
Nor did I.
I enjoyed like the sing along, but apart from
I think they were good supporting cast, though. I do think they filled their role.
They were just like so over, and it was all just because they had that, like, because Road Dogg said some funny words at the start, and it was the same words every single week, and it was like, okay, and then that was it.
Okay, so when you guys think of like more recent times when you had like Enzo and Big Cass, were they that good, or did they just have the good entrance, same as what you're saying here?
Yeah, but you know what, like,
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I get you. It was catchphrases as well, but like I feel like Enzo could say different stuff every week, and I always did find him entertaining on the mic. Like, so yeah, I remember when they came out on Raw. I never used to really watch NXT too much at that point. Like, I'd maybe tune in for like the takeovers, but not really watch week to week. And then they came out on Raw. I think it was a Raw after WrestleMania, their debut, and then I was just like, wow, these guys are like instant stars.
Yeah.
What's waiting for Steven is Steve have a
nice little letter from Mick.
What's that rubbish?
Somebody tried to buy Steve a couple of beers. That's Mick Foley trying to make friends.
Yeah.
How nice.
He's about to have a wrestling match. He won me with a few beers.
Do you think he cared, actually?
Well, hell, son, when you Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah.
I am sure he actually drank before he went on. You cannot convince me otherwise. And I'm sure he would say he did too. You see it? The eyebrow ring.
I can't believe that. After Googling it, he just weird.
It is.
This is the phenom. This is my favorite rock cream, by the way.
We're all at the same point. Rock's just coming out now, yeah. Yeah. What a guy.
Weighing in at 275 pounds.
Got to each side. Eyebrow one side.
Federation champion.
Well, there he is, Michael.
He's
I mean, just take a look at that corporate champion. He looks like he's chiseled out of rock. I mean, how good does he look? Mr. McMahon has got to be so proud of this guy. But don't get me wrong. He's got to be a little bit worried about Mankind this Sunday on pay-per-view at Rock Bottom. I mean, Mankind is
It's weird because he never explained, if you remember, around this time, he suddenly starts wearing tracksuit bottoms and a really shitty black top, but it was never explained. I'm pretty sure he went and got liposuction.
Right, really?
It was something like that. It was explained as there's something in the Samoan genes or something like that where you puff up, or there's something, I don't know. But I think he got a little bit of a tuck.
Mm.
I mean, if you look at his body now versus that, it's night and day.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. And yeah, speaking of great scenes, this is my hands down favorite Taker. It was just that slowness and pace at the end.
Well, there he is, Michael Cole, the Undertaker. This is the man that's going to snuff out the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's going to bury him alive.
How much of a genius was
He's going to smother his career. Look at him right there, the phenom. That's the man that's going to do it. He's going to sacrifice Stone Cold Steve Austin. You realize, Michael, that Stone Cold Steve Austin, as great as he is helpless against the ministry of The Undertaker. This Sunday on pay-per-view, The Undertaker versus Stone Cold Steve Austin in a buried...
Cole's
What was that, Jack?
got a little bit of a sore throat there. Oh. I'm trying to really eye up this eyebrow.
And it was both sides.
Mankind still hasn't gone change his music yet.
Yeah, I didn't even notice the shift from Taker's music to Mankind's music.
Yeah.
Just spotted Mankind coming out. Oh dear. I see. I understand what's happening here. They're going to beat down Mankind because Austin's too busy drinking beers in the back, and then he's going to come out and clean house to a huge pop.
Wow, JJ.
JJ, you should be booking this shit. You can't do a worse job. You just look at it with that again. We can't really comment on when I look like this and The Rock looks like that, but you can tell he's a little bit more thicker in the midriff. Do you want to say?
Rock was just looking like, oh, what the hell's happening? Austin's coming out. Yeah, Rock, that was the advertised match, you fucking idiot.
Fist of fire! Fist of fire! Oh, that's the difference where you get.
All right, here we go.
See, if this was AEW, you'd just have Jim Ross, get him in the ring! Ref, why is it counted to 10? He's lost
It
all
always just
control.
felt so much more exciting when everything's going outside the ring and heading backstage and into the crowd. I think we said before, but it just like felt like a living, breathing, like arena backstage.
Yeah.
But even that thing that you spotted earlier with like the hidden camera recording the Vince and Brock and Shane Paul Bearer spot.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, there happens to be a camera here.
Where's the DQ?
No DQ. Has this match even started? Do they ring the bell?
Not done.
Oh, Hebner has absolutely lost control. I mean, this is terrible officiating.
Never had it.
Awful stewardship.
I love that the King used to like wear his gear, like literally just his wrestling gear underneath there.
Well, you never know, right? Always be prepared, like a scout.
Always. I think up until recently, he was still wearing all his wrestling gear.
He was living the game.
Underneath.
I want to say the King's like 72, and I forget. So he was huge in Memphis from like late 70s.
Yes.
He drew huge when he was from like 76 onwards. Yeah, he's God, yeah, the King turned 72 last week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just retired, Jerry. He's worth a fortune. He's teetotal as well. He doesn't drink.
Yeah, but he's given it all away in divorce payments.
An even bigger vice than Sauce is women, yeah.
Listen, you got to have one or the other. What is it about our guys? They're like married and divorced at least 4 times.
I think Stone Cold's been married 4 times, right? Mick Foley's the exception to.
No, Mick Foley is a class act.
He's an angel.
Yes, he is. Undertaker is on number 3.
And because he had, I always remember as a kid Sarah being tattooed, and he was like, "Oh, what does that mean?" Just his wife, dumbass. All right. Okay. Well, they are finally in the ring, and now this has become a standard tag.
We've just gained control. It's about to be over.
I feel like you may be doing wrestlers a disservice. I think there's quite a few of them who have managed to hold down a
of course
functioning marriage.
We'll this up and trying to use their version of the PFA.
In very trying circumstances, I mean, it can't be easy to be away for that long.
It's not easy. Like, think about it. Just even if you have like a regular job where you travel, like you consult or whatever, you travel during the week, you're home 3 days on the weekend or whatever, right? Like that's hard. Never mind, like you're living this lifestyle and you're mixing in alcohol, drugs, women, all that other stuff. That it has to be strenuous. It's not everyone's built for that.
What are you accusing the wrestlers of doing here? Drugs, alcohol, women. They're not just like go to their hotel room, Uber Eats,
play
and
checkers.
Netflix. Yeah, there was no Uber Eats and Netflix in those stations to make your own fun. Just bring the Godfather up. Hey, hook us up, bro. Yeah, don't worry about it.
I think Kevin Nash said it when he was like, you know what I did all those years? I just kept my wife away from the business and it worked. It's honestly what you have to do.
Don't mix business with pleasure. Golden rule. So we've got 8 minutes left on the clock here.
It's just kind of like, I don't know, when I watched this as a kid, like you're enthralled, but here you're just like, I know there's going to be like shitty finish, so let's just get to the storyline, because it's hard to get invested in like the actual wrestling when nothing's going to happen at the end.
I was, you know what? I would go there's a market stall in Huddersfield, and I'd go there every Saturday. And my pocket money, I'd buy like an old wrestling video. They'd be like £4.
You're so cute with your pocket money.
I'd have to do a lot of, like, on a Sunday, the only way to watch live wire, I remember 11 o'clock Sky 1, my dad would make me clean the kitchen and living room beforehand to watch it. It's like,
it's to earn.
And once you miss it, there was no like, dude, I just load up on YouTube. You had to be there you said before, you had to be there at that time watching it.
Or nothing.
And but yeah, when I'd have those videos, a lot of them, I just skip past the match. Just get me to the finish. I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
I want to see the shenanigans. And I was, again, looking back now, appreciating a Danielson Kenny Omega 30-minute draw or a Flair Steamboat 1 hour draw.
You were so wise beyond your years, Jack.
Well, I wasn't back in my youth, so got some catching up to do. The crowd has gone noticeably like quite tame as well. They were all for the fireworks, and now they've slowed it down.
For these four in the ring, like the crowd is really not that into it right now.
That guy who, like, bottom right, is going bananas for that people's elbow. He's throwing it off himself. Even Austin's selling this on the apron. Kick out.
Only The Rock could get that shit over, you know.
It's unreal. There's a guy asleep there, right above behind Austin. It's weird to think that was used as a finisher by mid '99. Like he was pinning people after doing that, which is like you said, that's ridiculous. Only he could get that over.
But he just did it so well, so snappy.
Rock bottom. That's come kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, I feel like he didn't charge up his finisher meter before doing that.
Yeah, those big anti-climax I've hit you with my finish pin. All right, King, calm down.
Oh, okay. Hebner's not
Oh
far.
my God. Michael Cole's voice is gone.
There you go.
There we go.
Come the handcuffs. Boss man was good for the handcuffs.
What is he attacking him with, the nightstick?
And this is obviously, there's no SmackDown. This is the go-home show for the pay-per-view of the weekend.
Foley did a decent job of like getting The Rock over as like a legit badass, you know.
Which is what he did the same for Triple H.
Yeah, for
Yes.
sure, 100%.
I remember again that match at Royal Rumble 2000 just being, good God. And I had the Royal Rumble 98. I had the Royal Rumble 99 VHS. I got that and Backlash as because my cousin had WrestleMania 15, so we kind of had it all. And St. Valentine's Day Massacre. We had 99 covered between us. And God, those chair shots are still brutal to this day at the Rumble.
Yeah, that was bad, really bad.
But Taker's got to he's got to grab the bell here, surely. Like, he's selling this really bad.
My Lord.
Yeah. Oh! Austin surely blades here. This is the big. This is the big. Bro, it needs heat. Oh!
It's tough to watch now.
He's got his hands up there perfectly. Right, so I've hit you with a bell. I've hit you with a chair. How many pencils do they have? Jesus. The logical next step is to
there are a lot of pencils
on across. I'm trying to work. Is that Triple H invading your home?
No,
Lissy.
my cat is like obsessed with cardboard boxes, and I had some like just by the door ready to like take for recycling, and she's just knocked all of them down. So,
oh my God, what are they doing?
Or the noise. Oh, wait a minute! It's happening, guys.
Let's not track this because I'm pretty sure this is banned from YouTube. So
it has to be.
Yeah, I've tried uploading this before, and WWE wants you to pretend this never existed.
Yeah.
It's happening, guys. Oh my Lord.
But again, the sense of like this is in its own little bubble, whatever. What happens when the Undertaker's just done with him? You son of a bitch.
Leave him to die.
But how does he get down? Who gets him down? Are we supposed to really be just there by the end that everyone goes home?
Shit. No, I'm sure they like lowered him in, some little pocket there and quietly pulled him down.
It's really cute how like whenever like Austin interviews Undertaker, they are really how friendly they are with each other.
I mean, you go through this time together, you have to be, no?
Well, they were in Memphis together. They were in, I think they were in World Class as well for a bit, and then they were in WCW at the same time as well. So,
wow.
By this stage, they've known each other 10 years, and they've been up and down the roads. Yeah, this used to terrify the shit out of me. The Undertaker with the eyes rolling in.
This was a lot. This was a lot, guys. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen this. It's something.
I think the Undertaker just came. Yeah.
I'll just say it for just, I need to say it. This would never happen on TV today.
Wouldn't happen on TV today. And Raw signs off with them hyping up the Buried Alive match at Rock Bottom in 6 days' time. And if you watch a lot of pro wrestling, WWE especially, the person who goes over on a go-home show doesn't win the big one. Which is what we kind of saw with Hangman and Kenny Omega as well on the last Dynamite. So that was Raw from the 7th of December. JJ, you've seen that for the first time. What do you make of it?
Yeah, that was something else, wasn't it?
There's a lot to unpack.
JJ's still absorbing this. Give him a minute.
You guys say things.
It's a lot. When we watch the 1980s Mid-Atlantic wrestling, it's a bit more straightforward.
Yeah,
in the ring, we've got Anderson and Randy Mulkey. 7-minute match and a promo. Now we've got a promo with Ric Flair. Now we've got a 3-minute match, now promo. No. We have got 6 matches, none of which went to a real finish. We had The Godfather offering a pose to people in the crowd. The wrong blue blazer. We had 2 flash-ins, an exorcism, hidden cameras.
There is a lot.
A
happening.
swerve, yeah. The Outlaws joined the corporation for 2 weeks, and I think it was 1 week, and then came back the week after. Wow.
Minimal
Played
payoff.
themselves.
Bro,
happening, and
they're gonna love it.
Like interacting with each other as well, which is like something you don't see a lot these days. It's like, this is your storyline this week. That's what you're dealing with. It's not like this is connected to this, it's connected to this, it's connected to this. There's a lot of moving parts right here.
Yeah, well, yeah, and like you said, you saw the point there with like Owen Hart being involved with Jeff Jarrett and Goldust, and then Steve Blackman involved with Owen Hart, and the web kind of expands into the areas, and Mark Henry in China with DX and the corporation, and D'Lo and yeah. It opens up different possibilities, doesn't it? Lissy, what did you make of that?
And this was a great time in wrestling. This was an entertaining show. I mean, this was classic Raw for that period. I'm always focusing on the women's, picture here. We have China at the forefront, really, before she really started to get involved more in the ring, from an actual wrestling capacity. It's nice to see her. I'd love for us to watch more, content with her in it, because I think she was just such a trailblazer at the time. Typical Attitude Era. It wouldn't be an Attitude episode of Raw without a little bit of nudity. So it was cool. We had the hose with the Godfather, a lot of highlights. I mean, this was the peak entertainment for the time.
Almost like a variety show, yeah, something for everything. Would you want to watch more from this era? Should we persist with Raw from December leading up to obviously the Rumble, where we have the I Quit match between The Rock and Mankind? We have Vince winning the Rumble, and then that obviously leads to Paul White debuting a month later, and then Stone Cold beats The Rock at WrestleMania. This is you can see they are trying to put things into place for the next 4 or 5 months. What do you reckon, JJ? Should we watch more of it, or do you want to go back to 96?
When you've got The Rock, Stone Cold, Taker, and Mankind in a main event, I'm always happy to tune in. So yeah, I'm all about this.
We did it.
Yeah, I mean, it's an hour and a half, but it flies by, doesn't it? It's like you say, Lissy, there's like little bits of everything going on everywhere, something for everyone. But yeah, I found it entertaining, even though there was not a clean finish amongst the whole 2-hour show.
Yeah. And in terms of
JJ likes something.
Sorry. In terms of episodic television, I think the idea of it is to think like what happens next. Again, we always use the AEW comparison, but things like what's going to happen with Danielson, or Dante Martin's just signed for Team Taz, or FTR, whatever, MJF, and whatever. What's going to happen with Dustin Rhodes with his thing with Owen Hart, or DX have just got one up on the corporation? Where do they go next? How does Stone Cold react to the under? At least there's directions in go rather than just, well, that's happened and
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard to keep people engaged 52 weeks a year. Like it really is when you're, like you said, it's weekly episodic TV show. Like there's no off season. They keep going. So I think at this time, that's when they realize like you have to like incorporate some of like that spicy stuff to keep it, to keep it fresh.
Spicy. So JJ, we're watching more of this series. Should we watch the next episode the week after?
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
You want to see the fall? You want to see who gets buried alive, right? Because once you bury alive, you're dead.
Need to see the fallout from rock bottom.
We'll see the fallout from Rock Bottom, and the week after, we've got The Rock versus Mankind for the title. Again, this is pay-per-view is named after The Rock. Surely he can't lose the title on his first pay-per-view defense. Sure. And I think it's Bossman and Shamrock against the Outlaws for the tag titles. And I'm pretty sure there's a few more matches sprinkled in, but we will cross that bridge when we get to it. That was episode 8. Episode 9, then we will watch next week, December the 14th, 1998, where it's The Rock against Triple H for the world title, New Age Outlaws, and Bossman and Ken Shamrock again, Kane and Mankind. There's a lot going on around this time, so I'm sure we'll have a few more things to keep us going. In the meantime, what do we say? Happy holidays? Is December officially Happy Holidays for the States? You can't say.
Absolutely. What are you kidding me?
Do you call? I mean, you can't. Can you say Merry Christmas? Do people get offended?
In this house, we say Merry Christmas. Okay. We don't do the Happy Holidays stuff. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, whatever. Like, it's perfectly fine.
I have no idea what Kwanzaa is, but I'll go along with it. JJ, have you got the tree up yet?
Have I got the what? The
you got the tree up?
Yeah, that is planned for Sunday, but I was wearing a Christmas jumper yesterday to celebrate 1st of December, so, we're getting in the spirit.
And hopefully, I think that's my task for tomorrow morning, if I can pull my finger out. Until then, we will see you all shortly on the Monday Night War review for Mainly Wrestling. Bye from JJ. Bye from this JJ. Bye from Lissy. See you next week. Ta-ra!
Peace.